We are live. Hooray. Good morning, everyone. Please type in and say hi as you arrive. I'm expecting Leslie Williams to be here first. But
Always.
yeah. Um, Getting my coffee plunged with the French press. And ready to have a cup of coffee. And we know that Leslie Williams is watching. Ta-da. We know that my cup is my oracle card, so I might be a little sassy today because the cup I picked says, "Don't tell me what to do. You're not my cat."
Oh, yeah.
So there we go. Yeah.
Queen Latifah put that in a very specific location for you to grab it.
She did.
Okay. Are you in Learn to Communicate? Because it's not.
I hope
There you are. There you are. I found you.
Like, I don't know where I am.
Found you.
There's Michael Hofferbert. When is Michael Hofferbert going to come visit me? That's what I want to know. My old friend, my dear old friend. Okay. Cheers. Pouring coffee now. I have a feeling it's going to be a strong pot. Okay. Good morning, Erin.
Good morning, Erin.
See for once. Ooh, that's strong. That is.
If that is strong for you,
It's super strong. There might be a little water going into my coffee.
Yeah. Tanya Hafe says good morning. Deb Tobin says cheers from England. Michael Hofferbert says visit in a minute.
Okay.
In a minute? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We have a new person on, a new viewer. Michelle Barg says, hello from Woodstock, Illinois. First time here, so excited. Welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, quite a day today. So Tuesday is the advanced animal communication, and at 11 there's AC level 2, medical intuition, and then there's AC level 3, behavior dynamics and relationships. And then at 5 there's AC level 2 and AC level 3. So there's always a couple teachers going. And I'm teaching the medical intuition today, both 11 and 5. But at 2 o'clock we have all advanced students Q&A, which will be very fun. That's kind of, I love me a good Q&A.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so I'm excited about today, getting all fired up. My horses are going to be the medical intuition. And then we're on a break, but the students are on a break, and it's an opportunity for them to get caught up on their homework. But for me and Shannon and Claudia, it means revamping stuff. We have some new classes coming up. So I will be working. Anyway.
We won't be teaching, but we will be working.
Yeah, we won't be teaching, but we will definitely be working. And I'm going to keep the lives going. I have a week or 2 off, but we've got some fun stuff coming up in August. So there we go. So if you are new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, TEDx speaker, and founder of Communication with All Life University, which is a program for people who want to learn animal communication or become an animal communicator, people who want to learn energy healing or become an energy healer, and want to learn about nature and wildlife, which we have all kinds of fun stuff coming up that I'll be talking about in a minute. And then I'm also an expert panel on a web-based TV show called All Paws Pet Talk. So, Pet Talk TV. So that's been very fun. and we have 1 or 2 episodes out. We just have one, I think, but they've been editing like crazy, so that's coming up. And what else? So who else here? Of course, she has her glasses off.
I had to clean them because I couldn't see. Going down. Kristen Hedberg, good day, good people. Good day, Kristen. Jane Moose says, good morning, Joan.
Good morning.
Shelley Messier says, hello, I'm here.
Hello, Shelley.
Oh, whoa, just every time when you comment, it pops. So, Oda Vanderkamp says hello from Ireland. Hello.
Hello.
Wilma Blomdejong says hello from the Netherlands. Hello.
Hello.
Jennifer Johnson Roberts says hello all. Already 78 here. Heat wave. Where is here?
Whidbey Island.
Okay. Nancy Virginia Perky says hi.
Hi.
Jennifer Johnson Roberts says my sister lives in Garles Weird, north of. She's talking to Wilma in the Netherlands. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Perfect.
So we've had a lot of really fun and poignant webinars lately, and Ask Jones. We did an Ask Jones just for the people that did the Learn to Be at Peace, and it was so beautiful. And Jennifer was there, and I know since then Jennifer's lost her horse. I'm very, very sorry to hear about that. But it was, and I know that's a big loss. An off the track thoroughbred, of course. We all know I love me an off the track thoroughbred. So anyway, I've got more webinars coming up. We don't have links for them yet, but I thought I would just share a little. So for those of you that are an absolute beginner, and this is new to you, or you're just a little shy about animal communication, I'm going to do I love to teach advanced, but every now and then I throw in a good beginner thing. So we've got You Can Talk to the Animals on August 4th, which is next week. On August 31st, we have Everything You Wanted to Know About Chakras, but We're Afraid to Ask. On September 7th, we have Body, Mind, and Spirit. On September 21st, I'll do another Peace Through Grief webinar. And I don't know why I wrote September 29th at 2 o'clock, but I'm doing something that day. Maybe Shannon knows.
And those...
So those are all webinars. Oh, I know. I think I'm going to... No, yeah. Then I've got lots of Ask Jones. I think that's what September 29th is, an Ask Jones. So the webinars are kind of free teaching opportunities. And then the Ask Jones are Q&A, which my Q&As... Most people think my Q&As are worth $1 billion because I go deep. I don't, if you ask me a question, it takes about an hour to answer. But I'm trying to think. We're going to do a little Jill and Joan mini masterclass coming up. So on acupressure. So all kinds of fun things are happening. And that's not even... we always have an intro to animal communication, and if you've purchased something, we always have a discounted rate then for the intro. We have the fall intensive, but we have Marie Christine's class. When is that? What is that date? Her subtle energies.
I'm gonna get that for you right now.
And then on September 28th, the very special thing that we haven't really talked a lot about, and we don't have a link for yet, is it's Animals in Transition. So it's advanced studies for anybody who's taken AC Level 1, taken a weekend workshop, done an intensive, went to a store event with me. We're doing yeah, animals in transition. So it'll be 10 weeks of basically mediumship, and it's going to be very intense and wonderful. And we have a whole program being created around that. So that's that's coming up, and then the wildlife, we've nature and wildlife, we've got the animal communication AC level 4, but you have had to have had a bunch of prerequisites to do that. So that's in the fall. But then the some of the classes, the animal wildlife behavior with our primatologist Wendy, that starts, I want to say March 3rd. Anyway, we've got a whole, we're a school. So we've, got free things, $8 things, $1 billion things. So,
So the, the webinar links aren't up yet. I will have those ready when they go live, and I will post them in the page. But the ones that I just posted, Marie Christine's, The Subtle Energies, it's a live online program. It's 6 weeks, Mondays at 4 p.m., and it starts September 12th of this year. And the link is there if you want to check it out. We also have, Joan mentioned, the October Intensive, which is, Joan, you want to just go a little bit into, without going too much into what the October Intensive is?
So it's on October 7th through the 15th, right? And it's a little later this year. So it's 3 days of animal communication, 3 days of death, dying, and beyond, and then 3 days of energy healing for animals. And then end of October, I think the 26th or something, we have animal communication level 1. And then November, whatever that second Thursday is energy healing for animals. And then November 24th, I'm in Kenya. And then December 7th, I'm in Uganda. And no one's going with me to Uganda.
Wow.
I know.
Maybe.
Yeah, so far.
So far.
Yeah.
I'm putting all the links in here with the dates so everybody can have them. And, okay. All right.
Okay, so we have some guests coming up in the next few weeks. I'm gonna, next week will be a little bit fun. And then we have some students, some graduates, actually teachers, I think they're all teachers in the school, that did a group book called Inspired Living. I'm so embarrassed. Anyway, I can't remember, but it is an absolutely wonderful book, and a number of the students are contributing authors. So we'll get them in here, and you can hear about their journey. And I think it's always important to hear about someone else's journey, or how their family members, not that I'm going to bring my brother on or anything like that, feel about stuff. But we have some fun guests coming up. And so there's that. And yeah, so there's a lot of stuff, I can't watch and scroll, or I'd be like...
No, don't look. I got it. It's
Okay.
me putting it soon.
Okay, but tell me, there's stuff people are writing stuff about.
Yes. Okay. So, Cindy Smith says hi from South Africa. Chris Wilson says hi. Jennifer Johnson Roberts says, thank you, Joan. That was very sweet of you to acknowledge Mia. I've had 2 very powerful visits from her.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, that's going to make me cry.
Yeah, we're all going to cry.
Oda Van Bertem says, that is such an awesome webinar program. Thank you, Joan.
Mm-hmm.
Ellen says, just saw your live. I wanted to thank you for helping me with my guilt around Mikey's passing. The program sounds exciting. It is pretty powerful.
I think we exchanged, in last week's live, we exchanged, a few comments, if you will. And I can't say enough about how moving the guilt out of the way and then being able to be in the pure grief is then what helps us stay very connected. And it really, boy, was that a theme last week. And I am going to do a couple more readings today, just because I know I missed a few last week, and it might be a while before I do readings again. Little free mini readings. But what is interesting is last week's live, we couldn't have predicted that the theme would have been, you know, crossing over. So it was, and then we had the webinar. So last week was really, or we had the Ask Joan for the people that had purchased Learn to Be at Peace. And I have to say, it was just a really powerful week to be with everyone in their grief. Because one of the things I think that I love to bring up in these webinars or classes, or as we have this more developed program for crossing over, which, by the way, the price right now is going to be off the charts, insanely ridiculous, and will never be that again. Just had to throw that in. I can hear Shannon in the marketing meeting yesterday. Anyway, I'm just channeling Shannon. So what I feel like a lot of us experience is that people will say things like, oh, it's just a dog, or oh, it's just a cat. So being able to be together through this with other people that feel that way, it makes it that much more potent and that much more powerful and that much more meaningful to be able to get through it and know that this is a place where, you know, nobody's going to give you advice about how to get out of it. In fact, we're just going to hold space with and for each other. So that's, you know, that to me is the beauty of all of this. So, and it's big. It's big. The fall, you know, my favorite class in the intensive, they're all my favorite. What am I kidding? Who am I kidding?
You know how I feel about.
But the Death, Dying, and Beyond is it's just weirdly delicious. That's all I have to say.
I have to share that. I don't know if I said this before, but when I did the intensive, I was dreading because that was my first experience as one of your students. I was dreading the Death, Dying, and Beyond part of the October intensive, and I was bracing myself for a lot of hurt come up, but it ended up being my favorite part of the intensive. I loved the Death, Dying, and Beyond. It is very powerful, and it is delicious. There's just something so incredible about that class. So that's why I'm excited about the class that's coming up.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff coming up. I was going to say another word, but I refrain.
That started with an S and ended with a T.
Maybe. So I think that's all the news that's fit to print. There's also, another webinar in November, but I think we nailed it. All right. But the Ask Joans are really fun because it's an opportunity to get on a Zoom with me, and like I said, we go deep, and it's fun. Did anyone else commenting?
Yes, I'm reading it right now. Deb Tobin says, 14 months ago, you kindly did a live reading with my rescue dog Coco as she was in her last days. After she passed, I got a puppy named Willow. Imagine my surprise and honor when I realized Willow is Coco's spirit. So now I have more time with this wonderful spirit in the form of a pup.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say, aside from all these links and aside from all this blah, blah, blah that I told you, you can always reach out to Shannon, and she's our animal empath goddess this week. And she can answer your questions, but it's, you know, it's more than that. I mean, she talks to people that aren't ready to do this until, you know, next spring. Like, literally, we have lists of people that are starting at different times. So, it's really important that people are able to get on a call with her, because it is, it just sort of lays out your path for you. And laying out your path is something that is what you think when you join the program. But I have to tell you, I've been doing a lot of graduation calls, and they're always bittersweet for me because there's nothing I hate more than a goodbye. So I always say so long. But in the graduation calls, there were 3 or 4 people who had this always happens, and I'm thinking even of like Kim Nishida said this. We have a gal that graduated probably 5 years ago who said this, Kate Doyle. Anyway, a couple people that are just in the last few days. They come in saying, I'm just doing this to help rescue animals. And they leave like, I have a website, I'm going to be doing this. And they start little businesses. And one of my friends, Kate Doyle, was someone that just really thought she was doing this to help rescue animals. And for her own animals, right? She'd had a huge loss, this horse, and then she lost her husband. And so it was like loss after loss. And she thought, oh, going through the program will be healing. Then she became kind of like, she works out of a vet office up in Tahoe once a week, helping. COVID kind of slowed it down, but she's back up and going, where she's once a week talking to animals that have crossed over. People come into the vet's office or in the stages of that. So it's like there's all different ways when I listen to people in the graduation, all different ways that once you go through the program, all different directions you might go. But getting into the program, Shannon has a really great way of helping you see the path. And it's, again, what happens when you come out might be a different thing than when you walked in, but it is still, it's a powerful journey when you're in it. And so many people were just kind of, if they weren't a lot of people were going, then their next step is teacher training. And we have some other next steps that we're developing. That's what we'll be working on this August. But just really solidifying some other kind of advanced studies. But that's, it's just really interesting to see what you think that you're going in to do, and then what did you think you were coming in to do, Claudia, and then what have you ended up doing?
You're good at asking. Okay, first of all, when I came in, there was no Shannon helping people with their path. I knew I was going to be a lifetime student, but Shannon would have been great. But I had you, so whatever. I came in just drawn to animal communication, knowing I wanted to do it. I just dove in, not knowing where it was going to lead. Was I going to do it for a business? I didn't have the picture. I just wanted to learn it. And where it led to was me working with you one-on-one, me becoming part of the school, which I never thought it would even be an option or even it wasn't even on my radar. Teaching, no, I never was a good teacher, and I love teaching. Love teaching.
And everybody raves about Claudia as a teacher, so.
Oh, thank you. And because I love what we do. It's become my purpose, and never did I ever imagine I work with rescues, I work with horses, I work with the school, I work as a teacher, I'm doing outreach, I'm things that never would have crossed my mind when I first started, but they just kind of organically started happening as I went through the program, and I just kept my mind open to it and love. Sorry, someone made a comment, and I love what I do. And my purpose, I started with a purpose, which has always been to help animals since I was, conscious enough to know what I wanted to do as a kid. And that purpose is now becoming solidified and I'm still growing, and I'm still learning, and I'm still doing, So we have some major projects. So it just keeps changing.
Yeah, and that's it too. It's like as I evolve, Like at first, all I wanted to do was just do private sessions, and then the teaching was really fun, and then more people wanted, you know, more studies. So um, it became the school, and then the in 2009 started dolphin trips for 8 years, and then added wildlife trips, and you know, in there wrote books. So there, my path has had a lot of really cool stuff in it. So
And your vision for the school, I'm going to be very vague about this because a lot of things are in the process, but I've known Joan for a few years now, and she's always talked about how she wants the school to branch out, and it's happening so organically and so naturally that it's pretty incredible, and I'm really honored to be a part of it. Shannon piped in on her when she started. She came in 2004. She says, I came in to help my own animals. That's also a reason why I came in. Little did I know I would get to be part of starting the school back in 2008, and then amongst the first graduating class in 2010. Good thing the universe knew what I really wanted to do, LOL. Love the school and path and tribe and Joan. Amen.
amen. And we love you.
Kristen Hedberg said something very sweet about me.
Okay.
She said, Claudia is seriously a freaking amazing teacher. I think you should have her own line of classes. Well,
She does. There's 2 tracks. One will be If You Speak Spanish.
I will be teaching this in Spanish, and the other is
She's the outreach. So she's totally the rescue call. Right now they're doing the sanctuary call. We have the wildlife calls coming up. We have the lab animals, and then we have the professional animals.
Laugh. She says, I'm so happy the school is branching out because I never want to leave. That's why we're forcing her to branch out, Kristen, because there are those of us that are forever students, and we are, and I mean Shannon and me, and you and Tanya and so many others, we never want to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want you to leave. I hate graduation calls. I mean, I love them because I love hearing the stories, and I love hearing, like, some of the crazy stories I got to were incredible the other day. Everybody had crazy, great stories of what they've done. And then one gal told me all the things that like went wrong in the beginning, and that's why we do the case studies that we do, so that it happens then. And so there you go.
About those.
Yeah. All right. Can you hold on, Mike? Sorry.
Okay, so
My brother is loud.
all brothers are loud. Oh my God. Tanya says, I'm a lifer. I love everyone and all I have learned and continue to learn. We're lifers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Joan's never retiring. We won't let her.
Yeah, well, it's going to look different eventually, but it won't be this way forever. But because I'm going at 1,000 miles an hour. But it's fun. I mean, I can do it now. I'm going to do it as long as I can.
Charlie says, me too, me too, me too.
Yeah. All right, so does anyone want a reading?
Okay, let's give them a second.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to...
Okay, so remember, if you want a reading, please give me the name of your animal, age, how long they've been with you, who else lives in the home, and if it's and what breed. Sorry.
Shelly's a lifer, a slow one. We take, yeah, there's no hurry. That's the thing, there's no hurry. That is what, like Shannon and I were talking about it the other day. There are people that are, like, we know are joining in January, or we know are joining later on, but it doesn't mean, you know, it's like, or they're taking their time going through. Like there's no hurry, because as far as I know, I'm not going anywhere. Um, I don't think.
No, you're not.
Yeah. And I tell my animals they can never die. I'm like, we're gonna be really unspiritual. Nobody can die. Yeah. So anyway, now I need paper. I'm gonna get up again. I have on a dress that I haven't worn in a while, but you have to check the bottom of all dresses at my house. The long ones. This goes down to my ankles. Um, because cats, particularly Queen Latifah, like to sleep on the floor and behind. So sometimes I go out with Queen Latifah with me, just as much
Of course.
fur as possible. Okay, I'm getting paper. And uh, we're only going to be able to do a couple because I have to teach, and Shannon has to teach, and everybody has to teach. Got a long day. And no pen.
Okay, so.
And no pen. I'll have to be right back. Okay,
No,
yeah?
you go do that. I want to say we have quite a few people requesting readings. I'm for those of you that are students in the program currently, I'm gonna let the other guests go first, and then if we have time, we'll get to you. I hope that's okay, Joan?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Just because you all know what it's like. So let me see. We're gonna start. Erin, I see you. But we're gonna go with Jerry Lynn Atkins. She says she lost her beautiful girls, Dolly a Dalmatian and Daisy a Jack Russell. Dolly passed in 2013 at 13 years. And the following 13 years plus, and the following year Daisy passed at 15 years plus. Dolly and Daisy, cute names.
Which one is Dolly?
Dolly is the Dalmatian.
Okay. And Daisy is what?
Jack Russell. So she lost them within a year of each other.
It's really funny. I feel like they were quite a pair, but I mean, Dolly feels like, as much as she was this giant Dalmatian, she was absolutely, there were moments that she could just be really small and yet big and yet small and yet big, and she says that she has enjoyed going between sizes, and it feels like she was just a character. Um, it feels like, and maybe she was a smaller Dalmatian. I don't know, but it just feels like she wanted to be as small at times as Daisy. I think, but it just feels like her spirit is just continues to be expansive. It feels like she was a very, um, just a very curious, loving spirit that the curiosity was there, and so and it still is. So, and I think she has her eye on everything that happens. Feels like there's a lot that goes on at your place. And then as far as Daisy goes, it feels like she was at times independent, but very connected to Dolly. And I think that even though she was independent, she was dependent on some level and really didn't want to have life without her. And it was um, but in her independence, she was very fast. She was very smart. She was cunning. She was clever. She might have been obsessive at times, but she was very, very sweet. And again, she was very curious. And it just feels like you lived with two very expansive souls, and they are continuing to be expansive and loving, and both have their eye on you. So there's that. Okay.
Okay. We'll wait for her to respond. In the meantime, we have Daniela Van Amsterdam. Jake, I guess it's 4.5 or 4 or 5 months old, Cocker Spaniel. He's been with her for 2 months, and it's just the two of them. It's a puppy.
How old is he? I'm sorry.
4.5 months old. It says 4,5, so it's either 4.5 or 4 to 5 months old.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like, so Jake knows that he is super cute, and it feels like he knows that he is like people adore him, and that when he goes out with you, that people are like, oh, they just kind of fall in love with him, and it feels like if um, that he has a very loving response. Also, I feel like he's got almost like a little runway prance, right? Like he's got some little cute walk that's ridiculous. And he says he's very loving, but he likes his own space. He's very connected to you. So, I mean, I just think that there's a time in the day where I don't know if he goes to another room, but he just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna. Oh, yeah, we've got. You missed it. Cat jumping up the tree. Now the cat's going to jump up on the bookshelf, and the dog, it drives the dog insane. Anyway, so Jake feels very connected to her. It feels like you're quite a pair. He feels like there was, I don't know if you had lost a dog a while back, but it just feels like, on the one hand, there were big shoes to fill, but that he's his own guy, and he's a full soul, a full being that's coming in and filling places in your heart. So that's it.
Okay. So if you could give us some feedback on that, that would be great. Daniela, okay. And then we have
Any word on Dolly or
what?
any word on Dolly or Daisy?
Daisy, we're waiting to.
Okay.
Oh, we've got new comments. Yes, Dolly was my 80-pound lap dog who was such a goofball and made me laugh every day. Daisy was her partner in crime. I tried to post a pic of the two of them, but I'm having trouble getting it to post. Okay.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah, it seems like they were quite the pair.
that's
Yeah. I'd love to see a picture of them together.
me too. 80-pound Dalmatian with a little Jack Russell being the partner in crime. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that Jack Russell was like, I've got this. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, and now we have Nicole Donahue. She has a Jack Russell mix. Nalu Nawili Willie, 9 years old. A Pika Pamhua with us as well, same age.
Okay, who are we talking to?
Yeah, Jack Russell. So I guess there's 3 of them. Okay, so Nicole, if you could give us names, ages, and how long they've been with you, and what breeds they are. Like what are dog, Okay, so we'll come back to you. Jennifer Nicolella, reading please for Hope, 10-year-old cat. Been with her since she was a kitten, indoor cat, lives with her and 5 dogs. She's having health issues.
Who is this? Who's the person?
Jennifer Nicolella.
Okay.
Hope. Hope is the cat's name, 10 years old.
Hope feels like, even though she's got some health things going on, that she's still very present and has quite a she just has a very beautiful presence in terms of a she's just very solid and very in her connection with you. She's not managing everything, but it's almost like she's kind of gotten an energetic and ethereal quality that is very aware of what's going on in real time and all around her. So I think that being that kind of hyper aware of life in the way that she is sometimes makes her need more quiet time. Like it feels like she, as a kitten even, she could be a wild player, but then had these incredible quiet times. And so and then it feels like there's a dog that gives her a lot of attention, and maybe not always wanted, but different than this, but not too unlike this, like just very on top of it all. But my sense is, and I don't know what the health issues are, but I can just tell you what I'm feeling, because in the school we do not diagnose. So I feel like in many ways there are things that are going on. This is a weird thing to say, but swallowing is different. And there may have been some weight loss and digestive, but it does feel like there's more, not heaviness in the lungs, but there's just, I don't know if breathing is an issue, but it just seems like there's a lot going on that makes her head kind of heavy. So those quiet times that she used to have where she'd kind of regenerate after being so present and ethereal are becoming a little more necessary or intense and a little, going very deep when she regenerates. So, but it feels like the, the regeneration is energetic as much as anything and necessary. So that's what I'm getting. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I had to mute myself. I have loud children.
I have a brother.
Well, Jennifer responds about hope. Daniela responded about Jake. Yes. Yes, it's amazing. This is really so. He is loved by all people and the dogs surrounding us. Yes, I lost my cat Bella after 13 years. She was my love. Jake goes with me in my office and is just sleeping and understanding I have to work. You got his essence, really. Thank you. He is funny and has his walk and his look.
I'm like a supermodel, like a dude. Yeah. It just, he's on the catwalk, but Anyway, he's his own.
Yeah, she says, we really connect for the first time. Jake was my first voice in my head, very clear, and I had a telepathic connection before we met in real life. This was the moment I was awake to the existence of animal communication. Love this. Thank you very much for the lovely reading.
And you know what? I always say there's one animal that got you here. You know what I mean? There's whether it's somebody that just broke our heart or somebody like that just got into your head. I would say pet one got into my head and broke my heart. And that's how I got here. But I got here because she got into my head. So I was into animal communication in the late 80s and 90s because of her getting in my head. And then I lost her. But yeah.
Yeah, mine was Groot, as we know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jennifer Nicolella is responding regarding hope. She says, thank you for connecting with hope. And then she says, she is, and then I wonder if we lost her. Oh, that would not be fun. So let's give her a minute.
All right. And you know what? We're going to have to,
we're going to have to wrap it up.
Yeah, because I've got to teach. And so we have guests for the next couple of weeks, but we'll probably do readings again in maybe end of August, or I might be on break then. But beginning of September.
We'll do more readings.
Yeah, we'll do, definitely. At least once a month we'll do readings. And anyway, I'm hoping that, like I said, we have all different levels. It's a lot to announce all the stuff that we have coming up. But we have all different levels of ways that people can learn. And so I really can't wait for all the things to unfold. Like the free webinars, let's see, did this Jennifer?
Yes, okay. She just responded. I was letting you finish before I told you.
Yeah, so there's the free webinars and lots of classes. And if you have questions about anything, all the links are in this thread. And if you have questions about anything, always reach out to Shannon at info@joanranquet.com. Go ahead.
Okay, so Jennifer says, Hope is definitely in the middle of everything and very connected to me. She has had digestive issues that we cannot find a source with.
I felt like she even kind of lost weight, but I just have to wonder if there isn't something very acidic happening up higher and not, I feel like maybe you were looking lower and maybe it's up higher. And that some more acid is being produced. Could be more, like I said, there's something even in the, how she's swallowing now. Like it just doesn't taste good, so.
Yes, weight loss, vomiting, etc. We continue to work with dietary issues and so on. Thank you again.
Yeah. She's something else. It'll be worth it to figure out. All right. So thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.